I came to America, trust was broken. Here you take a vulnerable child, someone who doesn't know nothing in the world, and then you spew nothing but vomit on them. They grow up with the skewered mentality and them becoming toxic themselves. I'm, as an adult now, I have to undo the toxicity out of my life.
Hey there, my name is Sean, and this is Suicide Noted. On this podcast, I talk with suicide attempt survivors and ideators so that we can hear their stories. Every year around the world, millions of people try to take their own lives, and we almost never talk about it. We certainly don't talk about it enough. And when we do talk about it, when we do engage with people in our lives in pain, we're not very good at it. So one of my goals with this podcast is to have more conversations, and hopefully better conversations with survivors, in large part to help more people in more places hopefully feel a little less shitty and a little less alone. Now, if you are an attempt survivor or ideator and you'd like to talk, I would love to talk with you. Please reach out. It's real simple. hello@suicidenoted.com. You can check the show notes or the podcast description to learn more about this podcast, current projects, future projects. If you'd like to get involved, make a financial contribution, tax deductible, of course. All kinds of other things. Just check that out. You can go to suicidenoted.com or shoot me a message, email, social media. I'm around. I'd love to talk. And remember, we've got a poll every week on Spotify. So if you have Spotify and you want to check that out, would love to hear your thoughts on that week's question. And if you're an Apple person, rating and reviewing helps a lot. It helps people find the podcast. And of course, we want people to find it if they need to find it. Thanks so much. Now, finally, we are talking about suicide here on the Suicide Noted podcast. My guests and I do not hold back, so please take that into account before you listen or as you listen. But I do hope you listen because there's so much to learn. Today, I am talking with Dana. Dana lives in Washington, and she is a suicide attempt survivor. Hey, Dana. Dana, where do you live?
I'm in Tacoma, Washington, so Washington State.
So we found each other because we are both have profiles on Speaker Hub, which is a place where people who speak, sometimes for money, have profiles.
Yes. Yeah, I found you because I'm a newcomer speaker. I've had my speaker profile on Speaker Hub for a while now. Somebody just recently this year reached out to me saying, hey, we saw your profile on Speaker Hub and we were wondering, do you still talk about child trafficking? And I said, yes.
Did you get a gig?
I did. My first gig.
Are you charging them money, I hope?
Yes. Oh, it's in California, so I'm excited.
Good for you. When is that going to be?
October 11th. I feel like this is God-led. I'm supposed to have a platform of my own to speak, but It's supposed to be about authentically being me, of course, not being fake, and sharing my story. And that's why I reached out to you, because I feel like it also targets part of my story. Anywhere from child trafficking, suicide, depression, PTSD.
Why do you want to talk with me about stuff like this? And we'll, of course, get into the details of it. It should be said that a lot of people don't want to talk about this stuff. No judgment. They don't. You do. At least now in your life. And some of this people would say is, oh, that's really dark. It's like, okay, I wouldn't say that. Some might. So why do you want to talk about this stuff with me? And then I know there are others out there, and then have other people hear it because it's a podcast.
Yeah. I reached out to you because I just feel like there's not enough of these conversations. There's not enough where you're touching other people's lives, showing who I am as a person, but also dealing with healing because of it. And I feel like I'm healed enough to talk about it. And honestly, this topic that you touch base on, I won't lie to you, it is not a topic that I've touched base on for a lot, because it's a sensitive, tough subject. It's a subject that I haven't really shared enough with the world. I mean, I may have shared a little bit in my book, but that's it. It's not like I haven't gone into depth of saying the reasons being or why I got targeted to be suicidal, where it came from.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. We're talking. Usually I ask people straight up, how many suicide attempts do they have? Do you have any?
I've had many encounters, or few encounters, or couple encounters, I would say, when I was younger. But if
Uh-huh.
I don't take my medication, I still feel like, yeah, I'm going to tell you, I'm being real. I still have
Okay.
my ways where I feel like I hate being here, being in this world. Like I just wish the good Lord just would take me home. But the only thing that's maintaining me to really deal with the here and now, and not being so severely depressed where I'm out of control in my emotions, is medication. It may not be perfect in my world. I still go through, I still get triggers, but not as bad compared to without the medication, where it's very chaotic.
Okay. So when you say younger, how much younger is younger when you had those you use the word encounters, and I've never heard anyone use that. What does that mean, encounters?
Encounter means like I've had thoughts, I put myself in actions, and there was the fear inside of me was much more greater than to being able to do it.
What age range are we talking about?
The time of my trauma was from age 4, when I was
Okay.
child trafficked, went to the orphanage, a couple of orphanages, and then got adopted. I was adopted at the age of 8. The first time I
Was,
thought about ending my life was like, roughly, I would say 10 years old.
you remember it?
Yeah, yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 40 years old.
Okay, congratulations for making it. And where did you grow up?
I was adopted in Iowa.
You were where were you born?
I
In the
was born
States?
in India.
Born in India, adopted by a family in Iowa.
I was 8 years old, was my first adoption. And then my second
Okay.
adoption was 17 years old.
So you spent your early childhood years in India.
Yes.
4 years old, you were
Yes.
trafficked.
Yes. I felt led to write my personal story, Abandoned But Not Forgotten. I am in a hunt of wanting to look for my birth family, which is next to impossible. But I felt led to write about my most darkest moment, which was my first traumatic experience at the age of 4. That was my first memory, was being kidnapped, being thrown
Okay.
in a rice sack, having chloroform put over my mouth, and being carried on some man's back while he was traveling by foot.
Where were you taken from?
From my family. But the weird part is, as a child, I don't remember anything prior to the traumatic experience. The most severe experience in my life is the first memory of India I have at
Wow.
the age of 4.
Over the years, have been able to piece together some stuff, like where you were born, or like the first 4 years. Do you know even what part of India you were in?
No.
You remember someone taking you,
Yes.
specifically remember chloroform, a sack.
Yes.
And so what happens after that?
He stuffed me in a burlap rice sack, and
Right.
I was carried like a sack of potato on his back. And I knew for a fact, even though I've never seen this man's face, I knew. It's just like when you're a little child, your senses get so heightened. I
Yeah.
knew that it was a man. And I can tell by his footsteps walking on the gravel road. I can tell,
Yep.
even though it was unnatural sleep, I would wake up here and there. It's like I was permitted to know my surrounding, experience my surrounding.
And he just transported you somewhere else.
Yeah, he traveled by foot for a long time, and this unnatural sleep because of chloroform was like making me groggy and sleepy and limp a lot. And so it's not like I could move or I could fight. I mean, I'm a kid. And it was the most tragic, the most scariest moment, not knowing what happened to my mom, what my mom could have gone through, what was getting ready to happen to me. But this was really well known back then for children to be kidnapped. Yeah, it was very well known internationally before it became rampant here in not Washington State, but America in general.
So how long are you with this person?
Honestly, I just remember I was with this person the whole day, all night, pretty much. Next thing I knew, I woke up. I was on a train. Me and this person who, my kidnapper, we were riding the train, God knows where. I end up having to go on a whole train ride for a long time too. By the morning, I hear early morning. It was literally early morning. I hear like hustling, bustling outside of the train station. And the train was slowing down. It was, that when you hear the engine slowing down, like I heard it like literally slow down and stop. That's how I knew what was going on. Then I looked and I was like, for whatever reason, my senses said, okay, try to escape. I think what happened is this guy got spooked because of the crowd, especially in the middle of the daylight. Somehow I couldn't escape out of the sack. And somehow next thing I knew, I was found outside of the train station on Pune Railroad number 1, train station number 1. Like a train cop found me. I don't even remember, honestly, how I even came out. Somebody took me out. I was begging for money because that's what I saw other people do. The train station security brought me to my first orphanage.
So you were kidnapped, but the kidnapper didn't keep you.
No.
And then you went to an orphanage.
Yeah.
You're whatever number of miles away, kilometers away from your folks. They have no idea where you are.
No.
You have and you're 4.
I'm 4.
And now you're in an orphanage. Are the orphanages safe?
It was abusive. It was controlling. I mean, because I just knew for whatever reason, I was safe. Like, I felt like God was like protecting me at the train station. And then when I was found, it was like I was brought to this orphanage. But I don't know if you know this, but a lot of orphanages are into child trafficking as well. It's called adoption trafficking. So yeah, it wasn't really a good experience for me. It was like, kind of scary. I was there from 4 to 7 years old, and then they sent me to another orphanage to be officially be adopted. And yeah, they found these people in Iowa.
Why go to the States? I mean, I think that'd be a much harder transition.
Love of money is root of all evil. Money is a lot, and they scam people for making them pay $20,000, $30,000, $40,000.
Now that you're 40, do you have any idea what this guy was going to do with you?
I just know I was being child trafficked. Oftentimes, I don't know if you're familiar with this, in India, when a child gets abducted and kidnapped, it's either they get turned into street beggars, and they're called the untouchables.
I would imagine the other one is that they force you into prostitution.
Yeah, and it's either direction. It's either you get turned into a street beggar, called the untouchable. That's like the lower caste system in India, and they treat you like a dog. The other one is a child as young as me. They wait until you get your first period to turn you into a young prostitute. If you're not compliant, it's like the very dark side of brothels is that. And where I was dropped off, I'm not sure if you know about Pune, India, is the same continent as Mumbai, India. It's called Maharashtra. Maharashtra shares the same continent as Bollywood. Bollywood is where the brothels is. They bring young children, girls for prostitution.
It's such a weird thing as you're growing up in, sorry to say this, but like super white Iowa. I mean, come on. I mean, you stood out.
I did. We were like rare breeds because there was a little town called West Liberty, Iowa that I got adopted into. And let me tell you the only reason why I got adopted, because at the same orphanage where I was from, these parents had adopted another girl before me. She died of a heart attack.
Wow.
They really fell in love with her. They liked her little mouth tone and everything. But when they got me, guess what they got? The opposite of that girl. So I got compared to a lot. I got targeted. That's how abuse came on board.
So you're saying, if I understand correctly, you were snatched from your parents at 4 years old by arguably just luck or whatever divine intervention. This person lets you go or whatever. You're in an orphanage for about 4 years, and then you get adopted by a family and you go from India to Iowa. You're just going from abuse to abuse.
Yes.
That's got to fuck somebody up pretty bad.
It screwed me up.
Do you think it's surprising that you're alive?
Yeah, because I literally thought that I was going to die at the age of 20. This is a miracle right here.
I would think when you think your life is a miracle, right? That could go in any number of directions, and they're not mutually exclusive. Like, they can coexist. One is, it's a miracle, and hey, I'm going to write some books, speak. Or it could go the opposite direction is what I'm saying.
I'm going to tell you, my life was so messed up. I had no identity literally, like, I go from my first traumatic experience with India, 4 years later, seeing these white people's face that I was so petrified of. At first time I ever laid my eyes on them, I was so scared. Like, you know how when they say children have those intuition? It's true. I had that intuition that said, I was so scared. I didn't want to go. They had dark presence about them.
And you still feel that way today? Like it never changed?
Oh, no. Absolutely.
And you were there, how long were you there with them for?
From age 8 to like 11, when I finally got taken away from their home. Because of them, they're the ones who really made my brain almost split like this. And why trauma? Till this day, I deal with trauma so bad. You know anything about narcissists? They break you. They break you. The mother was a narcissist. The father was a weak person where the mother was dominating, wore the pants in the house, manipulated, controlled, abused. Everything you can think of, I endured. Emotional, mental, physical, spiritual abuse.
Damn.
They took food away from me, would not feed me for days, locked me in my room, and treated me like slave. I was just another cash cow to them.
How are they making money? How is it a cash cow?
Because when you're adopted internationally, the state, the government pays you good amount of money for adopting a child. Taxes. Where do you think they got a brand new truck every year from? Out in the countries. Brand new truck. Every year they would switch it like as if it was nothing.
This podcast is called Suicide Noted. It's not Homicide Noted, but I want to ask you a question. At some point, even at 10, 11 years old, and I know that was about the time when you first started thinking about, like, I'm out. Don't you want to kill people? Don't you want to kill them?
I had rage and bitterness towards them. The adopted brothers that I had, they were grown adults and had their own life. And then can you imagine watching a little kid like me going to a small town called West Liberty? If you know about West Liberty, Iowa, it's so tiny, it's small. I went to school getting bullied because I looked different. Then I would go home. I would get abused.
That's why I'm asking if you wanted to kill somebody, because I want to kill people sometimes for immeasurably less shit. If you told me, if part of the story was, and one day I went back and I shot her, I'd be like, that makes sense. I would.
Honestly, I was a child whose voice was stuffed. I was a timing ticking bomb. Let's just say that.
If we were to see you as a young kid, you're in like hardcore, all out protection, self-preservation mode.
Yep. Here I have such toxic relationship, toxic family, don't care about my mental health and my developing brain. I'm not being taught how to properly communicate, being taught the language of love. I'm not being taught how security, comfort, boundaries. I'm not being taught any of that. My life was consistent on learning on my own. And what I could learn from God or what it was self-taught, self-made. So till this day as an adult, I sometimes screw up. Yeah, I screw up. But people look at me like, what's wrong with this girl? She should have known, not to act like this and that. But I get judged for it constantly because of the fact that people don't care about you growing up with not knowing. They care about your behavior. You should be in control. And honestly, I have to take responsibility as an adult now for the things I didn't learn as growing up as a child, even with my first adoptive family. And as a teenager and young adult, I am having to learn on my own, and I'm learning so I don't look stupid. And my biggest fear is looking stupid. But being vulnerable in front of people, you get judged a lot. So I have no friends because of that, because they think I'm weird.
I think a lot of people, for completely understandable reasons, just should have shut themselves off from other humans a lot. But it's not an easy choice, and it's not even a conscious choice, and it makes life really hard. You're basically choosing between, I think, for me anyway, the lesser of two evils.
Right.
But people suck. You might have a far more optimistic view about them. I don't know. We'll hear more, because I don't think you'd be writing a book if you didn't have some hope. I'm not sure I have any fucking trust in them at all. I think they're...
No, I came to America. Trust was broken. Here you take a vulnerable child, a naive child, someone who doesn't know nothing in the world, and then you spew nothing but vomit on them. You throw nothing but garbage on them. They grow up with a skewered mentality and them becoming toxic themselves. As an adult now, I have to undo the toxicity out of my life.
it's very dangerous to compare people and compare lives and compare experiences. And a lot of this is not even tangibly measurable. But I will say from my perspective, having heard some of what you've gone through, that you have gone through immeasurably harder things than I ever have. And I'm an angry motherfucker who has a lot to learn and unlearn. I have not figured life out. And if I told you my life, you'd be like, damn, I would do anything to have your life compared to the shit I went through. Yeah, I don't even know how you're alive. That's the point. I'm glad you're alive. If you want to be alive, I want to understand. So you said your first feelings of not wanting to be alive were at about 10 or 11 years old?
Yes, because after not having a safe home, they didn't give a crap about me, whether I was out or in, whatever. I could be going down the street and they would pass me by and treat me like I was nobody. I had to walk my butt to school. I had to walk myself, and I would literally steal candy from grocery store because I was that hungry. Summers was where I would go a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month without eating. First of all, because I didn't have proper nutrition to help my developing brain. As I'm growing, I'm living a life of also now, well, I'm abandoned. I'm feeling rejected. I'm feeling abandonment. I'm feeling abused. I just want out. And these effing people don't even care nothing about me. These people who just in front of my face give their grandchildren bank accounts to raise funds for their future schooling and college, and you get nothing. And it's a slap in the face. Just like as an adult couple years ago, it was a slap in the face when, I don't know how, God knows how they found me. They sent me something that I could not inherit their farmland. And I said, I don't even want their land anyways. I was cut off from their lives long time ago. And I was so scared of them. So, and if you talk about living in biggest fear of your life, I lived it. My life was meaningless. I felt like a ghost, like a walking ghost. And I felt like I was mad at God because God didn't care anything about me. I felt like I was cursed. I was a cursed child. And I lived my whole life like that. I didn't just go to school being abused where boys would just jump on me. Boys would tackle me. Girls would try to pick a fight with me. It forced me to find a voice, but it was a voice in the wrong way. And I allowed myself to be sexually molested. One of the neighbors' girl at the age of 10, because I just felt like that was my place where I can go get food because I wasn't getting food. So I took advantage of the Italian couple, and they brought their niece one time, and she was physically abused by her dad. So she was brought over the summer. I thought I was making a friend, but she ended up sexually molesting me at the age of 10. So my virginity got taken away, and then with some other boy as well. So now here at a young age, I'm feeling dirty because I'm like, my innocence got taken away. Where is my innocence? My first suicidal was that I am not getting myself out of bed for months and months and with my blinds closed.
That was you wanting to die?
Yes, that's me wanting to die.
How close did you come to dying? Or was that hard to know?
I had that thought of like, go get a kitchen knife. As much as I wanted to die, it was better off that I was dead. Thought was much better. It felt more safer for me than being alive. I felt like being alive was more of a torture than wanting to die. And I felt like, why did God create me and give me this life just for me to live in a pain of misery and suffer like this because I was innocent and now I became a victim. But even that word victim haunts me right now because I've had multiple people, including my ex-husband, tell me, you acting like a victim. And that's a negative connotation, a trigger for me.
I can't stand that. I have a real issue with people having an issue with that word. So here's what I mean by that. You're sounding like a victim. It's like, yeah, so fucking what? You might not want to be connected to that word. I just don't know why people freak out so much about that word. It's like, yeah, some people got fucked really hard and they like let them decide how they want to present to the world. And if they're in victim mode, so what?
Yeah, because there are a lot of us who are real true victims. We don't pretend to be victims. We don't act like we have become something we don't want to be. And for me, that's my truth and that's my reality. And I
Right.
still successfully say, this had happened. I'm taking ownership. This was my life. This was not nobody else's life. And I really became a real live victim of something that I should not have been introduced to. But unfortunately, it became me. It become who I was, and I became and came into a darker place. Honestly, my dark place was a place where my first suicidal thought was, after my first adoptive family treated me the way they did and continued to treat me, continue to manipulate me, continue to harass me, continue to
Yeah.
nitpick at me, I didn't become someone who she can control. I was ball full of personality, and I fought back. When
Okay.
she drugged me on the carpet, when she physically punched me and called me a B-word, bitch and hoe and stupid and whatever, she did not like the fact that I was finally speaking out for myself and I was screaming for my life.
Tell me this, between 10 and about the next 10 years.
Okay, so pretty much it boiled down to, I went to the middle school. Finally, I found my voice. And even though I never told anyone. And finally, I said something. They took me out. CPS took me out, put me in a shelter. And CPS was trying to reunite me with my first adoptive family. And I said, no, they are scary. They are monsters. I don't want that lifestyle. I'm too scared. Please don't. And they would not listen. But because my first adoptive family would not do therapy or counseling or come visit me, which was a blessing to me. They gave up their full rights to me. After that, I grew up in shelters and foster homes all my life, the whole teenage life. So living my life as a pretty much, I feel like a walking zombie, completely dead. And it's like you're living your life with people who just want money from you because you're just another number. I go through knee surgery because I got injured from my first adoptive family's home. So I had emergency knee surgery at the age of 16, and then their rights through the court system finally got taken away from me. So that means I got freed from them. And so I was put through the adoption agency, and that's how I get adopted again at the age of 17 and come here to Washington State.
During that time, before you get to Washington State, do you remain suicidal?
I will tell you, my second adoptive family was not ready to receive what they received from me.
When you're in Iowa, before you get to Washington, how often are you thinking about killing? Is it a regular thing or no?
No. I'm still suicidal. I still don't want to live. It's just not addressed. The trauma is not addressed. Suicide is hidden. At this point, it's hidden because nobody's addressing me. Nobody's caring about me. Not until I get adopted again. With my second adoption, suicide comes back up. How I behave, my PTSD, all that trauma is coming up. And they weren't ready for me to fight them. They weren't ready for me to be a wild child, a complete rebellious teenager, like going and wanting to party, wanting me to go sleep around with boys. My second adoptive family, now they can't handle me. So they call one of their friends up to tell them to come get me. I don't know this lady from Adam. And she comes and gets me. And they don't even talk to me. They don't communicate anything with me. And they make me go with her. And now I'm sitting there trying to jump out of this moving vehicle because I'm forced to go with some lady I don't know. And I'm being held against my will, against my desire. And I'm being placed in this truck. And so I'm fighting and screaming, kicking and hollering because I'm dealing with severe PTSD. I'm dealing with anxiety and I'm manically depressed. That was my other attempt of actually not caring anymore. I actually tried to jump out of a moving vehicle.
When this woman takes you from your second adopted family, and this is in Washington State, you're considering the second attempt. And for years you said you're thinking about it. This event, so you're trying to escape.
It was an escape, but at this point, I didn't care how the escape was, whether it looked like suicide. I didn't want to be there. And I didn't care if she was on the highway or hopping on the highway. But they called it I was being suicidal. And so I get placed in a mental institute because of that.
So that was your first time in a mental institution?
Yes.
Is that your only time in a mental institution?
Yes.
This is when you were 18, 17?
17 or 18.
And how long were you in that place?
Only 3 weeks, couple weeks.
How was it?
Boring. And they give you antidepressant medicine
from when you get out of that hospital to the day we're speaking right here.
So I get thrown in a group home, get raised by people at group home, and then get thrown out in the world to pretty much figure life out. And that was the most scariest trap I've ever experienced. My life was up and down because growing up, my life was up and down. It was very unstable. I really had to deal with my PTSD and mental health issue. Is when I've met my ex-husband, and it became very toxic because is like two people who are toxic, they get together and then it becomes toxic.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily say it was all his fault or it was necessarily all my fault, but I will freely admit that most of it was me, because I didn't realize that when someone who deals with severe trauma from their past life, it becomes like a planted seed that seeds germinates and grows, and you become that person. And I became that person. I behaved in abusive ways. My relationship with it was abusive. I did have thoughts of like wanting to jump off the bridge when I was with him, dating him. And still, that did not stop me from not loving him. And we did end up getting married. And I ended up having a kid.
How old were you when this was happening?
This was continuing on in my 30s.
In your 20s, how do you survive?
I tried college, and so college wasn't working out for me. So I just went out there and just got a job. Okay. I would go from job to job to job.
Sounding rather unhappy, I'm guessing.
Because I was with another narcissist. It was all about religion and controlling me and said, "You're going to go to hell."
Okay, so in your 20s, you were involved with a narcissist who was religious.
He took advantage of us, international woman who was vulnerable and didn't have parents. And narcissists, they like to seclude you from any connection with healthy relationships.
Sure.
And they like to control you of your finances and your life. I was a puppet pretty much my whole life. Right.
And then you meet this person and you...
I was not a puppet with the person.
Not a puppet. You were the abuser, and you said in your words.
I was, in this sense, he was abusive too. We both became abusive to one another. Yeah. So that's the responsibility I take from my end. Yes.
And you had and how old were you when you had your child?
I was 35 years old.
All right. So you have a pretty young kid. When do you split from this person?
Couple years later, or 3 years later.
If I asked you, so today as we speak, are you suicidal?
I have thoughts of not wanting to be here still, but that's without medication. So I feel like everything, my life of me getting my help, it is from not just therapy, it's from medication. Let's just say that, because otherwise without medication, I can't control myself, and it's uncontrollable, and it feels really horrible when I have no power over my own emotions.
Yeah.
And when I gave birth to my daughter, I was so depressed, and I literally saw my daughter as a little monster, and I wanted to throw her over the water. Those things, pregnancy, depression, is so real.
Yeah.
And that thing lasted for 3 years for me. 3 years. And because of that suicidal depression, I got myself caught up in scam, and I got scammed financially. I was emotionally unstable to make financial decisions for myself. And so that's what happened to me. So I finally sought help after 3 years later, but still I get triggers and stuff. And I do have thoughts where like, oh my God, why am I suffering? Why am I even here on earth? That's still ongoing.
How many meds do you take?
I feel like it's like 7 meds.
Okay. And you see a therapist. You have someone to talk to.
It's called talk therapy, and I have a caregiver.
You have a caregiver that helps you?
Yeah, because I'm so independent, it's a little less hours. It's not much that the state gave me. So based off of my mental health issues, I have tried to apply for SSI.
And you have custody of your child?
Yes.
So he lives with you?
No, he does not. But we have, because I have been healing from my mental health or have been under control with my medication, he has entered back into my life, and in a healthier way, though. We're redating each other in a healthy way.
Redating?
Yes.
Your ex-husband?
Yes.
Oh, so you're back with him?
Yes.
Interesting. How many people do you have to talk to if you're feeling suicidal?
I only have one person that I reach out to that I feel like I can trust her with my life.
Does this person or other people know that you were at points in your life suicidal? Like, because you said earlier, like, you don't bring this up much, which I completely understand. Like, people don't want to hear it, or there's a number of reasons why you wouldn't. So if you were to share this conversation with everybody who knows you, dating back years, would they be shocked?
No, because I was pretty much of a drama queen.
Trying to kill yourself is a reflection of a drama queen?
Trying to kill myself or feeling suicidal is not a reflection of being a drama queen. It has a lot to do with me enduring so much pain. I've tried to find a sense of relief. Like if I drink a little bit of alcohol, it soothes me. I'm more of a person like, oh yeah, I'm melatonin. Like, and then I feel more emotional. I'm a very emotional human being. And so I hated the fact that I couldn't be in control of my emotions. I feel like that's the dark side of being where your brain got split a little bit, gets split. You have no control over your emotion. And I wish I can. And the only way I can get that power back is by having my medication. Yeah, otherwise, I would not be able to be in a relationship with my ex-husband. I would not be able to have a healthier relationship with other people. I shut everybody out.
When in the times in your life when you shut everyone out, like what do you do with your days?
I stay busy. Okay. And then on top of that, I'm going to tell you this. When I was pregnant with my daughter, I started a fight. I was so angry because it wasn't just pregnancy hormones, but my PTSD was skyrocketing high and I had no medication. I fought somebody, like, especially when I feel my life is threatened and my life is feeling like it's not protected and I'm being ganged up on. That's the type of actions I take.
Yeah. But are you a good fighter?
No.
Like I was wondering do you win the fight or do you just get the shit kicked out of you?
No, I get crap kicked out of me and I don't care. Because of the adrenaline.
Right, exactly. Somebody attacked me once. Like I know this person and they were kicking me in the face. And at the time I kind of liked it. Afterwards, it hurt a lot. And I think I completely understand. And I like why people jujitsu or they do martial arts where it's controlled. It's like, all right, no one's actually going to die here, we don't think. And there's rules, but like you get to hit people.
And I actually like pulled at somebody's hair and tried to swing it, took a lamp and but I got stopped. I was going to go to jail that day and I was 8 months pregnant with my daughter. But I did end up going to jail after when my daughter was born. She was, I want to say 3 months old. I ended up going to jail because I had enough of the abusive.
Okay. Oh, so you went to jail for something that happened with your ex?
Yes.
Okay. I think I have a pretty good idea of the sort of challenges, like the up and down, and life is just really hard.
It is. It's very unstable. When you grow up with instability, toxic relationship, it spreads to you. And now it's your job to untoxify yourself. Yeah, and that's the position I'm in, is I'm trying to untoxify myself and be a healthier person. And this is why I'm putting myself out there to represent myself a little better. I became a fighter.
Other than taking your medication, what helps you get through the day?
Medication is the only thing. I decided to create my own boundaries. Boundaries is another thing. I've realized how healthy that is for me, especially because throughout my life, I've been sexually abused and raped. And then even dealing with my ex-husband's family, I create boundaries with them. I said, look, if you guys are not going to be my family, that's not family to me. Family becomes who wants to be in my life, not somebody who is toxic to me. So I create boundaries for me, and my serene place is actually being peaceful and working on myself, being a bigger messenger for myself. That's why I'm here. I want to be truthful and honest.
Yeah, it's awesome. Do you believe in God?
I do.
Yeah.
At the age of 20, Jesus actually approached me, and through that man that I was telling you about, who was supposed to lead me to Jesus, and he told me about how he died and experienced heaven and hell. That's what made me to believe that God was real and Jesus was real. And he led me to repentance prayer when I heard his story, and I was like, my life changed.
Okay.
I started seeing demonic spirits. heavenly angels. I even met Jesus and I heard his audible voice. So that has completely changed my life. And that's what grounds me even more. I wouldn't say I'm religious because I'm not religious. I really want to be real with my relationship. I even have this back and forth where I feel like God has betrayed me, been mad at him. And I said, we've had this trust issues. Well, not him, but me. And lately I've been in a place of giving up my trust issues with him and trusting him for he means the well for me. And so I'm still working on myself on that.
Okay. I want to know what happens if you kill yourself. What does God do? Where do you go?
I feel like I would go to hell.
Really? That sucks.
The reason being is because we're throwing our own life that he gave us back in his face and we're disrespecting him. And that's how I strongly feel. And so in the beginning, I didn't realize that God was really real. But now I realize God is real. I understand why in the past, I was so scared of killing myself. That fear was more traumatizing to me than to really put it in action, destroying myself. Even when I actually did jump out of the car and open the door of that lady's vehicle, and I didn't care at that point, I was still stopped. And needless to say, with that narcissist who brought me into understanding about God, that's the beginning. But he did further damage, more abuse than I could ever think of because I was a puppet. But
Right.
after that, it's been me discovering, I've been on this self-healing, self-discovery road of who God is to me and my relationship with him. That is all that matters. My life is different from yours and anyone else's. And as long as I work on myself, even as toxic as I could be, I will never be perfect. And that's much better for me, me working on myself. And if I have to take medication for the rest of my days, I will do that because I hate not feeling like I'm in control of my emotions.
Yeah. Question I ask all of my guests. It's called the pink and purple pill question. And that is, I give you a pill, and if you choose to take it, you would go to sleep and not wake up, and there would be no pain and nobody would know it's a suicide. You can do whatever you want with the pill. What would you do with it? I give it to you right now through the computer.
Honestly, I would rather be in heaven than being over here. That's the honest to God truth.
If I understand, you would take it, but you would only, if you could know you would be in heaven.
Yeah.
Ooh, I have to add this part to it. I've never thought about it. If I could guarantee people heaven, or at least not hell.
I took antidepressants, a whole bunch of them, and I got my stomach pumped. This was after my second adoptive parents.
How old were you?
I was 18 when they gave me up.
Oh, we didn't even talk about this attempt.
I forgot. Sorry.
It's okay. But it sounds like it's been a while since you actually attempted to take your life.
I took a whole bunch of pills. That was my other time. I took a whole bunch of pills and I told my first adoptive brother and he told my second adoptive mom who didn't want me anymore. And I'm dealing with abandonment issues,
right,
rejection issues, and I don't want to live. And they took me to the hospital at Harborview and pumped my stomach.
Just to be clear, the pill I gave you, it's not a bunch of pills. It's one pill. You would go to sleep. You would not be pain. You would just drift off and you'd go to heaven and we're adding this for you.
Yeah.
And nobody would even know, Dana. They'd just be like, she just died.
I love it.
It's just really sad, but she died in her sleep.
Yeah. This is my heart's desire. I want to die peacefully. And I would ask God, like, God, why won't you take me? Like, really? Right. I don't want to suffer anymore. I'm tired.
I bet in October when you have this speech you're giving, this presentation, you won't say what you just said. You're not going to tell people that.
No.
Too bad, because people should be able to hear that and be okay with it, but they're not.
It's because I've suffered for so long. I'm 40 years old. The age of 20, I thought I wasn't even going to live. I thought the devil was going to take my life.
Right.
But I ended up outliving that. I lived. God gave me this life. Yeah. And I'm trying to do it as much as possible. But I'm not going to lie to you. I'm still, when I suffer, I get tired. I'm tired of suffering in this life.
Yeah. Thanks for not lying to me.
I want to die peacefully. I don't want to experience no pain. I want to go to heaven. I don't like it down here on earth. I'm being honest with you. I don't like it.
There's a lot not to like.
It's misery to me.
Yeah. How many books have you written?
There's Abandoned But Not Forgotten, the Indian Cookbook. The Solo Journey is a healing journey. Why you don't need others to fulfill yourself. Okay. And then my new book that I'm getting ready to publish now is called the Against All Odds: The Enemy's Plans and God's purpose or something like that. Oh my gosh, I forgot my subtitle.
Right, so to answer the question, you have 5 books. One of them is a cookbook. The others are not cookbooks.
Yeah. One is a self-healing book. Other 2 is my autobiography, my life experience. And then I co-authored in 2 more.
Cool. And because you have the books and because whatever else, you now are starting, at least once, getting some speaking opportunities to talk about. So in October, who are you presenting to and what will you be talking about?
In October, I am presenting to 4 humans. They are in Sacramento. They're brand new, empowering victims for human trafficking. Mm-hmm. So I'm attending their gala, and their attendance is having 80 to 150 change makers, supporters, and partners.
Nice. All right. And you have 15 minutes, right?
Yes, 15 minutes.
That's not a lot. That's not much.
No, not for $2,000. That's good.
That's awesome. Yeah. But sometimes it's harder to speak in a shorter amount of time. It's easier to talk for an hour than it is 15 minutes. Wow. I hope that goes well.
Thank you.
Do your birth parents know where you are?
No.
35 years for your mom or dad, 36 years ago, you were taken away and they've heard nothing since.
No.
Why is it so hard to get a hold of them?
Because nothing was left with me. And then in India, some people are still old-fashioned, traditional. They don't have birth certificates or death certificates. They don't believe in Ancestry.com or 23andMe. That's brand new. That's being presented.
Sure.
So you have to get another third world country presenting to what America is hyped to.
You don't know the city where you were taken from?
No.
Nothing. My God. That's crazy.
The orphanage gave me my birthday.
Oh, you don't know your birthday. Right.
No.
How do you know your age?
Because they gave it to me. I knew I was 4 at the age of 4. I had that kind of sense of awareness because that's what God gave me. But anything else, mystery, because what the orphanage does is they say, okay, we're going to take 10 kids of you and give you November 23rd. And that's what happened. And then 10 kids, we're going to give you January 1st.
Your birthday is November 23rd?
Yes.
So you celebrate that day?
Yes.
Coming up November, you'll be 41?
Yes.
Okay. How does that feel?
It's like the same. I'm just getting old. Nothing different. My hope and wish is that I will be able to make a great impact in being realistic like this.
If we spoke in a year from now, what do you think if anything would be different in your life?
I don't know. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the truth.
Honestly, I don't know where I'm going to be a year from now. I usually don't know my future like that. I feel like I'm a blind man walking in the darkness, just holding God's hand and trusting him to lead me and guide me in my way.
That's a starting point. Yeah. What are the books that you have that are autobiographical?
Yes.
What are their titles? Because I like hearing about and sometimes even helping people with their titles of memoir books, even if they're not written, but yours are actually written.
Yes. My title is Abandoned But Not Forgotten. Mm-hmm. One woman's true story of being abducted as a child to scouring the planet for her birth parents.
So you have been looking for your parents, but without any luck. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the other title?
So the other book is called is Against All Odds. And the subtitle is The Enemy's Plan and God's Purpose.
Oh, I like that. Okay. What else do you want to share?
I just want people to know that I know it's hard, but sometimes when we feel like we're losing in the world, sometimes it could be your game. When you really hit rock bottom and you feel like the devil just digs another 10-foot hole down below, that's the farthest you can go. I've had to pretty much take my claws and dig myself out of this hole without any assistance. Honestly, I don't even know how I'm living. All I can do is look to God and say, it was nothing but him.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, Sean.
Sure.
The world needs an authentic person like you.
Well, thanks very much, Dana, and I thank you for speaking with me. Hope the rest of your day is decent. As always, thanks so much for listening and all of your support. Special thanks to Dana in Washington. Thanks, Dana. If you are a suicide attempt survivor or ideator and you'd like to talk, I would love to talk with you. hello@suicidenoted.com. Check out our weekly polls on Spotify. I would love your thoughts on that. And if you have a moment, rate and or review this podcast, Suicide Noted, on Apple. It really helps. Thanks so much. And that is all for this week's episode. Stay strong. Do the best you can. I will talk to you soon.